Hi everyone, I'm Mrs. Lynch. I'm the school counselor here at Jeffrey School, and I'm going to read you Chapter 6 of our One School, One Read, The Kingdom of Wrenly. So this is Chapter 6, Rainbow Frost. Wrens, the small brown birds that gave the kingdom its name, twittered in the treetops as Lucas and Clara boarded a royal carriage. They would travel through flat frost and over the bridge to the island of Primlocks. Lucas stuffed his map of the kingdom in his back pocket, just in case they needed it. 4 magical islands surrounded the mainland of Wrenly. Primlocks was ruled by the fairies. Hobbsgrove was known as the Island of Wizards. The king's dragons roamed the island of Crestwood, and Birth belonged to the trolls. All the islands were protected by the kingdom of Wrenly, but each island was a smaller kingdom unto itself. King Caleb had to work very hard to keep the lands united. Sometimes there was trouble, but for now, all was well. As the carriage entered Primlocks, Lucas and Clara saw the fairy queen, Sophie, floating before her. These are our pictures. Floating before her castle. Queen Sophie had shimmering gold wings and a rainbow-jeweled tiara. All the fairies wore clothes made from ferns, feathers, acorns, and flowers. Clara could tell they had used enchanted thread to sew their clothes because all of their outfits sparkled. Thousands of smooth pebbles formed Queen Sophie's castle. The roof was shingled with shells, and the windows were made of sea glass, buffed by the cobalt sea. The fairies fluttered towards the carriage. "Welcome, Prince Lucas," said Queen Sophie. "Thank you," said Lucas. "This is my friend Clara. We've come in search of my mother's lost emerald. She said she visited Primlocks just yesterday. I'm saddened to hear of her loss. Follow us and we'll help you retrace your steps." Lucas and Clara followed the fairies along a path. They crossed over an arched bridge and into the garden of strawberries. All the fruit in the kingdom of Wrenly was grown in Primlocks, but Primlocks was also known for its sweet orange blossom honey. In the middle of the garden of strawberries, Clara saw little round tables carved from tree stumps. Braided twig chairs and red and white dotted stools made of mushrooms surrounded each table. "Queen Tasha had mint tea and berries in the garden," Queen Sophie said. "She sat over there." Clara and Lucas began to search for the emerald. They looked around the tables, under the chairs, and throughout the whole garden, but the only thing they found was a ladybug. "Ladybugs are a sign of good luck," said Queen Sophie with a smile. "We could use a little luck," said Lucas. "Follow me," said Queen Sophie. "Your mother also strolled through the maze of hedges." "What's the maze of hedges?" asked Clara. "It's a maze formed by many rows of trimmed bushes," Queen Sophie explained. Lucas and Clara stepped into the maze. They followed a path between the hedges. They couldn't see over the tops of the bushes, but that didn't matter since they had to keep their eyes on the ground. They zigzagged through the narrow dirt paths in search of the emerald. Sometimes the path led to a dead end. Then they had to turn around and go the other way. Sophie and her ladies-in-waiting flew overhead to help guide them. They wound their way to a fountain at the center of the maze. There was no sign of the emerald. They searched the other part of the maze until they reached the exit. Still no emerald. Lucas and Clara sat down on some mushroom stools to rest. 4 fairies greeted them with a tray of lemonade. A small, nervous-looking fairy named Rainbow Frost fluttered up to Lucas and Clara. "I may have a clue to finding the lost emerald," said the fairy in a high-pitched voice. "What is it?" asked Sophie. "I saw a lovely green stone in the citrus grove yesterday. I was going to pick it up, but my hands were sticky from collecting honey. I washed them in the fountain, but when I returned, the stone was gone." "Did my mother visit the grove?" asked Lucas. "I'm afraid not," said Sophie, "but it's possible that a bird may have mistaken the stone for food and dropped it there." "Oh no," cried Clara. "That means another bird could have carried the stone anywhere." "That's true," Rainbow Frost said, "but I'm not sure that's what happened." "Why not?" asked Lucas. "Because I saw a big troll in the citrus grove," Rainbow Frost said. "And everyone knows trolls cannot resist treasure." "Do you know his name?" Clara asked. "His name is Hambone," the fairy said. "We must leave for Birth at once," declared Lucas. "Let's go," Clara said. Queen Sophie loaned Lucas and Claire a boat to sail to Birth quickly. She also gave them a bundle of treats, which Claire tucked into her satchel. Lucas and Clara thanked the fairies and waved goodbye. And that is the end of chapter 6. Thanks for letting me read with you.